Hi guys, my name is Jake, and this is episode 4 of the Poker Vlog.
All the good comes in waves. I buy my time by the ocean.
It is January 30th, and it is currently negative 60 degrees outside in Wisconsin. Even though it's freezing outside, there is a plus side to that. I didn't have to go to work today, so that means we get to go play some poker. I've actually never played poker on a Wednesday before. I don't know how the games are going to be, but there is only one way to find out. Let's just pray my car starts. Check out that Potawatomi B-roll.
Her body's gold like September. She burns through the night like an ember.
Mid-session update. The game is pretty decent. There's a very deep stack, crazy player that is just donating money to everyone at the table. But unfortunately, I have not been making hands against him, so we're already in the game for 400. We've been only playing for about 2 hours. The main reason I am doing this mid-session update is I want to talk about the WSOP and what my plans are. The WSOP is coming to Milwaukee on January 31st through the 11th. I'm pretty sure those are the dates. There's two main tournaments I want to play. There's a $400 for first day flight tournament, 200K guaranteed, and that's like the start off the event. And of course, at the very end, I want to play the 1.7K, 750K guaranteed main event. Every other day that is not one of those tournament days, I want to go there just to play cash. What does that mean for the vlog? Well, it means that I'll probably not upload as much when the WSOP is in town, but afterwards I should have a lot of footage and a lot of hands to talk about. So maybe you could possibly get 2 or 3 vlogs a week for the next couple weeks after the WSOP if all plans turn out well. I don't know when this video is going to be up, so if you see this video during the WSOP and you haven't seen one for a while, you know I'm grinding hard. I would love to put some poker tournament play on my vlog channel. I think that would be really cool to spice things up. Let me know what you guys think. It's like negative 60 out, like I said before, so I'm freezing in this car, so I need to go back inside and play some poker. The session was pretty short. It was only about 4 hours, but we still got some interesting hands to talk about. The first hand, I looked down at ace deuce of hearts in middle position. I opened it up to 12, and the button calls. This player had everyone at the table covered. He was a super crazy player, playing around 80% of hands. He would donk bet 3 streets. He would 3-bet with air. He would call any types of backdoor. He was just a crazy player, donating money to everyone at the table. That becomes important later. So we go heads up to a flop of queen jack 4 2 hearts. We flop a flush draw, but I decided to check because any amount I bet, he is probably calling with some kind of backdoor or any type of pair he has. So I do decide on a check. Then he leads out for $30. If I call here and I do hit, I will probably just keep checking it to him and he'll just bet all 3 streets and I'll probably get it in by the river. So I do decide on a call. The turn is a 7 of spades. I check it to him again and he bets $100. There's no choice here. We put in a fold. He then turns over 1 card and it was the 8 of clubs. Just to show how crazy it is, he calls a 3-bet and donk bets all 3 streets on an ace, ace, 4, 5, 8 board, and he shows 6, 7 offsuit. He just says he likes to bet because he has backdoor flush draws and backdoor straight draws. So why does this matter? Because the next hand I pick up pocket aces. Guy in under the gun limps, and I'm in under the gun +2, and we make it 20. The crazy guy in the big blind calls, and the limper calls as well. So we go 3 ways to the flop of king, king, 4. Then the crazy guy leads for $40. The limper folds, and of course, we make the call. The turn is a 10, and he makes a quick bet of $125. We only started this hand with about $250 in front of us. He could have any 2 cards in his range here pretty much, so I really don't like slow playing this hand. If he has a king, he just happened to hit a king. but I raise it all in there, and unfortunately, he snap calls. I asked if he has a king. He said he does. He shows over king 8. So he just happened to drill the flop and just got lucky that I had pocket aces and the river is an ace. We just hit a 2-outer and we had 5% equity. Plus, every half an hour, they have a high hand promotion going on Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. And our aces full of kings actually hold the half an hour, so we win another $100 with the cooler. The poker gods were watching over me that night to get some good content for the vlog. The next playable hand, we look down at pocket kings in the big blind. Under the gun raises it to 8. A middle position calls the 8. And so does the button. So I bump it up to 35. And only the middle position calls. The flop is 10-10-4 rainbow. He has only $125 behind at this point. So I decided to put in a bet of $35 again. My thought process is if he calls this bet, I'll be shoving any turn. And it's just about under a pot-sized bet. He thinks about it for a little bit, but he lays it down. A couple orbits later, I look down at pocket 9s in the cutoff. The crazy guy opens up for 20, which is bigger than his normal $15 open size. But pocket 9s are just too strong to fold here. So we do make the call. We go heads up to a flop of Jack 8-7 with 2 hearts. He checks and I check it back. The turn brings a 6 of spades, so now there's 2 flush draws on board. He checks it to me again, and now it's time to get value from my hand. I decide to bet 25. I think I can get called by all worst pairs here and also flush draws. If he had a jack or an overpair, he would be betting those on the flop and turn. He does decide on a call, and the river is a 3. It breaks all draws, and he just checks it to me. I decide to just check it back because I put him on some kind of weird draw. And if he had some kind of weird draw, they all missed, so I wouldn't get value from anything. With that being said, we showed our hand, and we're good. Another orbit later, I look down at 7-8 suited in middle position. There's 2 limpers, and I decide to limp behind. I don't mind limping these kinds of hands instead of squeezing when there's 4 other players to act. The players that limped were pretty call happy, so if I do put in the squeeze, I would have to squeeze pretty large here to get them to fold. Then if someone 3-bets me pretty light because they know I'm squeezing just for the dead money, then I would just have to fold. The big blind checks, so we go 4 ways to a flop of ace-7-7, 2 hearts. The initial limper bets 20. The second limper calls, and we have an interesting decision to make. I could raise and get them off some heart draws, but I decide to just call here because I think this type of player will bet an ace a bunch on the turn. The turn brings a jack of spades, and they both check into me. So I put in a bet of $35. I should get a call from all ace-x hands and possibly some flush draws that have a bad price. The initial limper does make the call, so we go heads up to the river of another ace. He checks it to me, and I go into the tank. When I'm in the tank, I'm thinking about what hands can I actually get value from. The only thing I can get called by here is with an ace. He shouldn't have many 7s because he would be betting the turn as well. So I decided to put in kind of a nitty check, but I do like the check. And it happens that he flipped over quad aces. So we were dominated the whole time, and thank God for that ace river because we just dodged a bullet. This next hand is the last hand of the session. I look down at ace-10 suited in middle position. There's a limper in under the gun, and I decide to bump it up to 20. The button calls and the limper folds. The flop is 9-8-5 with 2 clubs. I put in a check because this should hit his range of bunts, and he decides to bet 25. I decide to float here. I have 2 overs. I have backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw, backdoor trip draws. I got everything for me. I think you should float here some of the time because if you don't, you can just be exploited by good players that can tell that you just have 2 overs here and you just give up because it's not in your range. So we go heads up to a turn, which is a jack. I check it to him again, and he puts out a bet of 40. I think for a little bit, and I put in a raise to 120. I would like to start off by saying I don't really like this raise that much. I don't know what I'm really repping here. I'm saying I have 10-7 or maybe ace-10 of clubs. I wouldn't have a set of jacks here because I'll be betting that on the flop. Now what could he be betting with 2 streets here? He could have all the sets here. He can also have 2 pairs like 9-8 and 9-jack. He also could have some 10-jack suited as well. So I don't know what I'm really trying to get to fold. All 2 pair would call, and most sets would probably re-raise all in or just call. The only hands I would be folding out here are some ace X of clubs and possibly some 10 jack. But majority of his hands here have me dominated. He goes into the tank, and while he's thinking, he keeps asking me a bunch of questions. He would ask questions like, how much chips do you have? Or if I fold, will you show one, to try to get some kind of read off me? I feel very comfortable at the poker table, so I answer pretty much all questions that people ask me, so I can be balanced on asking questions, just how I'm balanced at the poker table. The more I keep answering his questions, the more frustrated he kept getting. The poker guys were watching over me that night because he decides on a fold. Let me know how you guys would play that hand in the comment section below. That wrapped up our session for tonight. We were into the game for 400. We cashed out for 608, plus the high hand promo, got an extra $100. So we cashed out for $708 for a profit of $308.
All the good comes in waves. I buy my time by the ocean, and at night
Thank you guys for watching episode 4 of the Poker Vlog. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel because 90% of my viewers are not subscribed. So subscribe so you don't miss a video. If you made it this far, make sure you drop a like and also leave a comment on one of the hands I played and let me know how you would have played it. And as always, I will see you guys next time.